I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is October 23rd, Wednesday, 2024. Hope you had a good day today. So look at this big fucking day. So they decided to wipe out all that liquidity. If you watch yesterday's video, at the end of the video, I know it was long, but at the end of the video, I was started to talk about that the 15-year is not looking right, and it was starting to match the 5-year. And because of that, I was mentioning that the last 5 days of the month, it was going to get out of its range, right? But I also said that it would kind of like chop down. I didn't do a good job of explaining, but yes, obviously this is a possibility. Now, that being said, where were the red flags here? And this is going to be a very good learning like experience in a sense for this scenario in history, right? So we first of all we're struggling to get above this bearish daily imbalance right here on July 17. So as you can see, 15 here, 15 here at the 50% here, you can see that we're stuck there. And we retraced, and then we came back down here. So I was like, okay, so are we going to continue to keep doing this? Now in the cards here, this is very possible because of the fact that the liquidity is built. But again, all part of the game, man. Then you had news coming out with Apple and all these other assets that are tanking or just missing quotas and of quarterly earnings and all this shit. So it's like, okay, where are some more red flags? Well, besides this 50% level, and you have to go in a smaller time frame. But again, with that build up, it started to fan out, right? But let me go to a smaller time frame. Oh, and before I do, you could also see that we struggled between this 2 and 2.5 right here. This measurement that we have here, 2 to 2.5. I mean, we couldn't even break above the 2.5. See that? So that's the other lick. But you also want to do a 3-day look back, right? So this is a learning lesson in general. I'm out of this trade. I bought this up here and I'm out of it already. So I'm out of it already. So hold on, let me go back to this. So here's the thing, right? So that we're struggling here, and we just can't break this level. So it's very simple. And then they decided to come and get these guys. So let me go to a smaller time frame so you can see this too. So crazy fucking day, man. So here, where were the red flags? Like more of a on the 1 minute, and then here were the red flags for me, and I was like, dude, this shit's crazy. Right here, look how we go sideways, but we're constantly taking liquidity to the left. This is what gave me the red flag. So we're underneath the opening, right? And then we tag and we take out that liquidity to the left. Then we come up here and then we get into that imbalance at 9:30 and we take the liquidity to the left. So we're constant. So like there's no really built liquidity. We don't have equal highs. We don't have lower highs being built too well, right? And this right here was a big sign here. This taking out here. And then it just constantly was showing you that like they have no reason to come back up and they don't want you to come down. So I saw that and I had an inkling. I had that inkling, but I did keep it basic because Wednesdays are also very, very tricky. Wednesdays is the middle of the week. If we're still in the same bias of up and down as far as where the opening range of the weekly goes, you don't know. So I was mentioning that we would like to see an expansion up, but we're not getting that. So they decided to expand it down, right? That's what for me, Wednesdays are the second worst day of the week in general, because of the fact that it can fucking cross either direction. But anyways, going more deeper here, when we had the 9:30, we popped up here, we wiped out liquidity and we closed low. And then we came down and we swept here. And then we hit the bottom of, let me see if I can zoom in here. We hit the bottom of the bearish imbalance with this black line right here, right? So we hit that. So okay, so I took this buy here, right? And then sure enough, we failed constantly. And then now we got bodies closing below this wick. So I'm like, yo, this ain't good, right? Built liquidity here, these three levels here, right? And then we're just chopping around sideways. This 921 imbalance, bearish imbalance. Look how like we're contained. We literally could never go above it. I had too many little losses here, and I was like, man, I'm like, this ain't panning out. So at this point, I think you got to think to yourself, okay, we're going to take the previous day's low, right? Like at minimum, the previous day's low. So we're struggling here. You can see that we look at this, the first imbalance is 939. We can't even bust above it. Like you see, like we break below it. And then here, this 10 o'clock, the 10 o'clock comes in and then it starts to shoot down. So I said, okay, let this shoot down, do what it's doing. And at this point, I've already got too much losses. I did get a little chopped up, but we're sitting at this gap here of the previous week. Now, that being said, here we get the oversold here. We get a nice pattern right here. This is a very nice setup. We have liquidity ticking to the left of the chart. We have this bearish imbalance, and then we have this bullish imbalance, this 1008. So they overlap here, and you can see respecting there. Beautiful. So this, I'm inside this trade, and then I'm going to just do this. Let me do this because it makes sense. You can see here, we dip down here. We dip down here. So first I get filled here. I get in this trade here. Then I add another 4 contracts, and then I get filled here because by the time this wick popped up, once it tagged in and it popped up, I ended up getting filled here. So the entry wasn't here. It was the first entry was in here. The second entry was in here. And then where am I taking this? I got a very clear. So normally I'm trying to hit this 50% level, but I do understand that we are at this bottom of the 25%. So to make a long story short, the other red flag is this 25, the bottom 25%. If it's weak, it's not going to be going above this, right? So when we pop up here, this equal high is my minimum target. So I've already taken way too many losses, and for me, I'm trying to call it early. And sure enough, man, I'll get there in a second, but we don't even break that 930 candle high at all. So we're staying in the middle. This was the goal. Then from here, this is where it gets crazy. So here, I literally take it out like right here, right? So I'm done with the trade. And then when it comes back, I decide to take a buy right here because I'm like, okay, cool. We busted above. We're going to take support here and then go above. And then I was trying to reach back to this level. Here would have been my minimum. And then this candle here, fucking 1051, and the macro kicks in, 1051. You could have just pushed sell, man. And I have this outlined, and sure enough, it breaks right through. And I'm like, oh shit. So from right there, I decide to walk away because I know this is a shitty day. I already know. I mean, look at this fucking price action. This is fucking awkward in itself right here, right? So that being the case, we blow right through the weak gap, no support, coming underneath. I don't even have to drag this out. You can see, look how we open this 1052 candle right at the 50% back of this 10 o'clock. So while we were coming up, I'm looking for this to hold as support, as you see. Right to the right of the chart. If you don't, none of this was there yet. So I'm looking for this 10 o'clock to hold as support, which it did beautifully. And look at the body, 50% beautifully. So my mind was carrying to take out this liquidity, which it held. But then when this broke through, I knew right away I was wrong because I had a stop loss here and just took right off. So I'm snipering this, but took a loss right away. And then boom. So right away, I'm like, oh shit, came all the way back to this gap. And this, to me, is not normal price action. I'm not involved. I'm done. And sure enough, dude, this thing takes off down. I couldn't believe it. So besides that being the signs on the wall here, the 25% was really the big story here. for on the 1 minute chart and smaller time frames, right? But anyways, we push down, we push up, and then we tag this 1052 right here, and let me move that back. That 1052, and we tag it, and it's holding. It's all resistance, dude, from the way down. So then we shoot down here, we tag in there slightly. Then they're hunting. They come down here. At this point, you know, it's over with, man. It's like, I know I fucked up. I missed it. And it's time to walk away, because this can turn into exactly what happened today. Damn, I should have held that bitch. I knew it was going to go up. I just, I decided to take the profit because I should. So anyways, so the price comes down here. You can see, let me try to zoom out a little bit. Scrunch this up a little bit. So then here you get this 1113, and let me look at the 5 while I do this, because the 5 is also very key in all this, but I won't even go there. But this 1113 holds price to the tick, and as you see, this is super ugly price action, but pretty much it's just resistance. It's just from this low, and this is just resistance. This is classic support resistance, right? So on its way down, you can see 1203 tags in, holds, pushes down, blowing right through those gaps. But look to the left on the 4 hour. So when you get in this situation, what's the advice to give you? The advice is to just trade the other way, right? Like, well, that's the second piece of advice. The first piece of advice is to walk away, because it will induce greed, it will induce FOMO, and it's a toxic drug. So the first piece of advice is to walk away. Let this thing fucking go. Who cares, bro? Like, there's another bus coming every day. No big deal. But my situation was just, I just want it to be done because of me getting fucked up here. So and then I took a loss right there, and I was like, nah, I'm good, bro. I should have realized it was turning down this way, but and then I saw all this liquidity, but I expected these the three previous days. I didn't expect this. But here's the learning lesson. If they are going to come down, where are they going to come down to? Well, I remember when I made this video here and here, well, especially here, that this was really suspect, but they kept that as support. And we have this really eye-opening area of imbalance, even though it isn't really an imbalance, because we came down, up, so it's balanced. So they can get away with that. But this is manual intervention. This is fucking manual intervention at its finest. So anyways, you pay attention, because this is fire. You're going to ask me, how do I catch the bottom? How can I do this? Well, before we get to the bottom, how can you be involved with selling in here? Well, if you were to still be trading, or let's just say you traded later, you didn't begin at the 930, and that's another reason why the 930 is sometimes really fucking sloppy. But here, take a screenshot of this. I got an outline for you. This is how it's done, right? But it's tough, because you just don't know when it's going to stop. And that's the reason why the first piece of advice is let it go. But in general speaking, if you're losing, if you're buying, well, that means it's going the other way, right? So now getting to the higher time frame. For me to catch this bottom, I have to be able to use the higher time frame. And what am I doing? Well, if I'm looking to the left of the chart, I'm looking at these imbalances here, right? Because on the daily, you're not going to see that. You don't see that on the daily at all. So the daily is not going to be helpful, right? You need to go to like a 4 hour or 1 hour. So I'm going to do both for you on the 4 hour first. The 4 hour first is what? Well, I'm trying to make this big. Let me do this. Let me see if you can see that. So on the 4 hour here, you can see that we have these two down candles, and we have these 2 up candles. So when we blew right through and we came back, we never really touched that high. And that was very suspect and hard. But when you bought at this, talking about this low, when you bought there, it was because it was in the top 50% of this imbalance, and they dangled that carrot. But it's also, so if treat this like a 1 minute. If this is a 1 minute chart, this 4 hour chart, if it's a 1 minute chart, well, generally speaking, they'll do the same thing on a 1 minute, right? Where they'll create this, and then they'll come deeper to get into there with the 2 down candles. And these 2 blocks are support. When we bust through, it should be used as support. So what's to the right of these two blocks? It's this imbalance on the 4 hour right there. That's 6 a.m. on October 8th, Tuesday. See that? So you got that highlighted, right? And you expect, look how this candle, this big 4 hour candle, this 10 a.m., look how it stops and closes on the 50% of that, which is super key. Now, the next candle is going to open. So we're trading the 4 hour at this point, which is going to be the 2 o'clock p.m. candle. So it opens up, but we expect it to either come down and seal it or just shoot from there, right? So I understand I elected to come down and seal it. Now I need to go to a 1 hour and take a look at it more of a refined area. So if I do this with the bodies real quick, I want to change this color really, but you see how it's almost the same level. Let me do it like this. You see that? I'm going to drag it out so you can see it. So this is the support, right? So they're coupled. So some people call this a unicorn. Some people, this is the only model that they trade. So if you want to do that, feel free. But, what's it called? So me understanding that and looking to the right. Now let's go to a 1 hour real quick. Let's go to 1 hour real quick and take a look here. So this is that 4 hour imbalance. If you refined it, it's a 1 hour, but that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to mention is this down candle right here. Bam. So that right there is your refinement of a down candle. We are inside this bearish imbalance, which is being used as like an inversion, for so to speak. But in this zone, in this area, what is a more refinement area, which is because you do seal that 4 hour imbalance. See how we wick down, right? Let me go to a 1 minute now. You can see this. Motherfuckers, I knew I shouldn't have got out. Right now. So I take this trade here. So here, this is now the 2 o'clock is in the picture here. So I just got done explaining this all to you. I don't have a 1 hour on this chart, but it is already hitting that level. So here we get this raid. We get a nice signature here, and I understand where the price is. Once it starts pushing up, I get involved here, and the stop loss is underneath that wickless candle right there. So where am I taking this to? If you look on the 15-minute chart, I'm just trying to tap into this imbalance right here on the 15-minute. That's all I was really trying to do, which will include wiping out this high and this high. And when it gets here, I'm out. Now, I should have held it because the reason why I also get out right here is because I'm knocking on the door of this low, right? Because I know I'm hitting this low. See this low right here? So I don't want to be, being left holding the bag and then it doesn't hit this level. And on top of that, it's the end of the day. So we might open up tomorrow and come down here and wipe this out, right? So for me, this is the safe play. This is not trying to be right. This is just a safe play. But look at the open of the 4 hour candle. Look at it. It's sitting at that 50% on the 4 hour. See that? And I'm already anticipating this. So, but I have to allow that wick. I have to allow it to come down and do the damage more. So, that's explaining that, man. So yeah, man, fucking crazy. So what do? We popped up some more, and I expect it to come much higher than this. Don't get me wrong. But as you see here, as you can see how I was when we tapped that 1 hour here, when we tapped on that 1 hour, the open, not the high, but the open. Of course, it's going to come a little bit lower. We're on an oversold here. And as far as the 1 hour, the 4 hour as well. Look at how the 4 hour is bouncing off of there, right? Beautiful. And then so when we tap it right there, it takes off. Take a loss right here, actually. Then it comes, raids one more time. So then here is the beautiful entry, or where you could have entered. So, and look at the 15-minute bodies are sitting above. Just all these little details are a part of the story. Now, that being said, oh yeah, now you want to fucking come a little bit lower. So dollar obviously still pushing up here. Again, this is another reason why I feel like we're getting stuck, and that's what I was mentioning all this time. With the possibility, if you look at bonds have been, I think bonds have sort of found a floor now. So that's why they got away with what they did to us. I'm sorry, I'm looking at another screen down here. So yeah, bonds was constantly coming down. So that was also another piece of this puzzle of it, coming back down. Now, if you were watching my videos, I've been saying, we didn't tap. We were trying to get this. We were trying to tap the previous week's low, and then we didn't take it out yesterday. And then sure enough, they rolled right over. And I was mentioning, did I mention this? I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but definitely coming into here. So even before I go to Dow, obviously the writing on the wall with NVIDIA was that when we pushed up, remember, we pushed up for a clean new all-time high. And when we're coming back down to wipe out all those breakout traders. Now, yesterday we stopped here, but today we gapped and then we just started rolling down. And if you were watching this, this would have also led you to understand that we were coming lower to wipe out this pool here. So this pool right here. This, I didn't expect this, obviously. So now, as far as the 15-year goes, before I even do that, let me just finish here. So, yep, they came in, they took out, these are breakout traders right here, right? They took them out and got into that imbalance right there on the daily, clean on as far as Dow goes. Yeah, fucking just one way. Excuse me. And then S&P, same story. I mentioned coming down here and wiping this out here. I said we're still bullish, but at the same time, that is what's, at this point, it is bullish when you're here, right? Like there's no argument there. But you have to understand there always is a risk of it coming down here. Now, did I fail plenty today? Yes. But did I also succeed in it? Yes. And with this understanding of this video, this is a learning lesson. So yeah, that being said, look how we come down to that gap. Fucking nice on S&P. Beautiful. Look at that bounce, bruh. That is just like, holy shit. Beautiful. So I want to, you probably want to hold it to here. That's a clean breakthrough. They're coming back up here. This is in my model. That's why I took this buy. So this is the reason why I took this buy here, because I understood this level in this area. Look at this down candle on the 1 hour. So super game. You'll be in this situation another time. So you'll remember this whole scenario, but yeah, man, that was the writing on the wall too, man, right there. And being stuck right here. We just couldn't get any higher. So I had a inkling, man. I was like, and I told myself, and I was like, bro, just trade down. I'm like, nope, walk the fuck away. For you, one of the most priceless skills you can have is being able to walk away and being content. Like, you have to be content. When I took this, I had to be content. But I did tell myself, I'm like, bro, just sell this. And I'm like, nope. And then, and by then I was just like, I started to feel the FOMO kick in. I was like, nah, man, it's all good. It's all good because of the fact that there's going to be a trade later today in the PM session. There's going to be a trade tomorrow and for every day the rest of your life. So that is that. So I think, damn, man, I think I went to explain everything, didn't I? But, so does NVIDIA, or are we in a serious situation where we crack? I mean, but the thing is that it's kind of like it's kind of like we're hitting a ceiling. So with all the news going on, is this something that's going to start bringing us down for a deeper retracement? Well, in the fourth quarter, this is as deep as it should be getting, especially for Nas. So with this, we should not be coming any lower. Like, they did a good job here. They wiped out everybody. Let me go to a 4-hour. They wiped everybody out. Buying right there. So this just could be a higher low to this range from here to here. So if I did this, let's just say let's just say from here to here, and just general speaking, you see that we missed the 70 level by a hair. So is that going to be like the range that we're in, and it's going to hold as support, or just tomorrow wick it and then take it? Or are we starting to get into a bearish scenario? Well, as you see, look, that's why I wanted to hold it to the bottom, because now it's not even trying to close below. Now it's almost 4 o'clock, but whatever, day's done, obviously. And so the 15-year, when I was mentioning in that video yesterday, that's why I was saying that. I did a poor job of explaining, if it doesn't buy up, and if Monday was not the low of the week, if it didn't hold, then obviously that means it's coming through it. I don't think I got a chance to like explain that. I did say that it would be kind of choppy, and I did this type of, I didn't mark it, but I did it with my, I was speaking too fast, but I did this type of movement with my cursor. I didn't draw it, but I did this type of, you'll see it, but I did this type of thing. But then I started talking about something else. But hey, it is what it is. Even if you get it wrong, it's no big deal. And if you get it wrong, that's the whole point of what this video is about. If you get it wrong, well, what does wrong look like? Well, 25% doesn't break above it. We break below, we get resistance, we have clear imbalances holding, mark them out, and you'll be able to ride a wave down. But yeah, I think that's good enough. I'm not missing anything, am I? Yeah, man. So as far as the 15-year or the 5-year, the 5-year is starting to really look right. The 5-year does show a big drop. This deep, I don't know, but that's relative to the range. But we should be making, let me take a look at it. We should be making the low here. Like this should be the low here. And we should be now pushing up slowly for the rest of the month, and then roll into November with a big push. So if I do, this is basically what I'm trying to say here. Assuming that, overseas stuff, and we just don't like go crazy. Let's just say that, right? Then November is fucking gone. Last thing I want to mention here is that if you're asking me why aren't you involved with selling, it's because I'm not going against this opening range gap. So if it's going to go, it's pretty much going to go without me, right? So I'm not trying to be involved if it's going to be taking off. I'm definitely not entering here, and I'm definitely not entering here, right? So it's goodbye. So hopefully that clarifies also some more things too, right? All right, you guys take care, and God bless.